What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Power Book 2 Ghost, guys. Season 4, Episode 9, and the episode was titled. What was the episode title? Married to the Game. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of Power Book 2 Ghost, shall we? All right, you guys, so before we even get into it, I am like really pissed off with this episode, not because of things that happened in the episode, because of social media. It's just like some of y'all, not my people, but there are people out there that just want to go viral, want the likes and the shares and the retweets and whatever else, right? Like this episode came out at midnight on Friday morning, right? And I wake up on Friday, because what happened is, well, this neither here nor there. I woke up, it was all over Twitter. I was able to avoid stuff on Twitter. I saw some things on Twitter, but I was able to avoid some stuff, right? I was able to avoid some things because I didn't really stay on Twitter all day yesterday because I was at work, right? So I didn't see everything. But then I go hop on Instagram, and one of the blogs have posted all the responses to the episode. I was like, are you serious? And then one of them was the end of the episode, literally the ending scene. I was like, y'all, my God, when it comes to this show, if y'all don't leak the episodes, y'all spoil the episodes for people. And it's just, it pissed me off, you guys. It really did. So going into this episode, I was not surprised with the ending, unfortunately, right? But it was kind of foreshadowed in the episode. If you guys actually paid attention to it, it was very much foreshadowed. So this episode is, we see Kane and we see Noma. They're getting ready for the wedding, right? So Kane had texted Monet asking, is she coming to the wedding? Monet didn't respond to Kane's text message. We see that Janet is back and they playing, she, Drew, and Monet, they're playing dominoes. Monet is in her feelings. I was like, well, girl, don't tell Kane how you really feel. Well, you have told him, but in a nicer way, Monet. Like, you don't know how to be nice. So Janet tried talking Monet and Drew into going. She was like, that's your brother and that's your son. And Drew was like, Auntie, miss me with the that's your brother BS, right? So Drew texts Diana asking Diana, like, yo, D, we going to Kane's wedding. And Diana says she hasn't thought about it. But we see as Diana is in class and they're getting ready to take a test, right? They're getting ready for their final exam. So in the class, we see Effie. Effie got an email from Stanford that she got accepted, right? Diana ended up getting up and leaving class, didn't even take her exam. I was like, wow, that's a zero. That's a zero. Now, Tariq is like, yo, D, you okay? So then Tariq went back to his room and Brayden was there. And Tariq was like, wait a minute, bro. Like, I thought you were going to go stay with L. And he's like, you really dodged the bullet when it came to L, right? Because she's a distraction and we need you focused. I was like, Tariq, L is not the only distraction for Brayden. That white girl, AKA cocaina, is a problem for Brayden as well, right? So Creepy Don called Tariq saying that he has a rogue dealer that's out there in Staten Island. And he named the place where the rogue dealer is, right? So he wants Tariq to go out there and check it out. And Tariq was like, but you got a whole slew of cops at your disposal. Why don't you go check it out, right? And Creepy Don is like, he doesn't want to scare them away. And Tariq will fit right in with them, right? So he told Tariq to go alone. And when it's dark, and Tariq was like, okay, I'll go. I was like, say what now? Run that back? You gonna go alone somewhere where, okay. Then knock yourself out, Tariq. Now, we see Drew. So Drew went to get, see the other guys that he's collecting money from, right? And they cracking jokes on Drew, like, who do we answer to, right? Because, the new guy, Terrell, Tommy, what is his name? And he pulled it out on one of the guys. And they're like, we just talking about Tariq. We just messing with you, man. We just messing with you, right? So they told him that Creepy Don had sent Tariq out to Staten Island. And they wonder why Drew is wondering why Creepy Don didn't send him. And they told him, what the spot was and everything, right? So keep that in mind, right? Because it'll play up again later. Now, we see Noma. Noma is at home, and we meet Noma's brother, right? So he's asking her, like, where your in-laws at, right? And she said, they'll be here soon. So he asked her about her ex-husband and if anyone has been arrested for his murder. And she said, no. I was like, of course not, because you're the one that did it. So her brother also asked her about these government contracts. And she told her brother, like, I have everything under control. So he questioned her about marrying Kane. And so Monet and them showed up as they were talking. And Kane asked, Monet, like, what the hell are you doing here? I was like, you text her and asked her, was she coming? But this is the rehearsal dinner, right? And Monet said, Nigga, you wanted us here, right? But we can leave if you want us to. And I was like, no, don't leave. We want you to stay. So we get through this dinner, and at first it was very quiet. Then it got really awkward, right? So Noma's brother is talking about how nice this place is that Kane lives at, right? And then Drew has to hop in and say, oh, well, it was our place until Kane kicked us out. And then Monet was like, yeah, you only in here, you guys were staying here because, I let you guys stay here until I got rid of it, right? And so Anya was like, wait a minute. You said that this was yours, that you paid for this on the bar salary. And then so the brother's like, bar? And so Noma's like, yeah, the Tejadas, they own a bistro. And so Anya was like, a bistro? That's what you want to call that, dive bar? And so Diana was like, that dive bar is what my mom and my poppy opened with their, when they were younger. And so the brother asked Kane, like, what do you do? Kane was like, I'm in the family business, right? And he works with Noma, and he's impressed with how she runs the company. And her brother said, it's a family enterprise. So Monet said, damn, boy, you don't know shit about these motherfuckers. And Kane asked, what he and Noma, what he does. And Noma says, now isn't the time. So then the brother asked, how did you two meet? And Noma was like, we don't have to go over that right now. We don't have to talk about that. So Monet mentioned that, did your sister tell you that me and her share someone in common, Dante Spears, aka Mecca? And he was like, you knew Mecca? And I was like, yeah, they grew up together. I was like, the Tejadas can never have a great dinner. The Tejadas can never sit down and have a decent dinner with each other. It always goes straight to the pits of hell, right? So Kane pulled Monet aside because he's pissed off, right? And, because Anya's cleaning the dishes. She's like, but we got the help, pointing toward Diana. Baby, as much as I can't stand Diana, I would have backhanded that help and be like, girl, there's your help. But you know what? All these people probably packing the heat. So maybe slapping that little girl wouldn't be the best, right? But Kane pulled Monet to the side saying, I can blow up your spot. I can go and tell Noma everything that I know. I was like, Kane, you would really do that to your mama? Now, granted, I know what I said last week that I would sell Monet up the creek with $5, right? And I really would sell Monet. I really would sell Monet up the creek, right? I have no problem with it. So Kane was like, you come in here like you on an episode of Housewives, and then you ignore my text messages, right? He told Monet, like, we have to make this look legit when ICE comes around. And so she can't embarrass him. And Monet told him, you know what, little N-word, I'll be at your wedding, right? He said, I appreciate that. And then, she was talking about, you stepped up when your dad went to prison, and I appreciate that. I was like, well, no, run that back, girl. Did you say I appreciate that? This can't be the Monet Tejada that I've known for 4 years. Because the Monet Tejada that I've known for the last 4 years is not a nice person. She's a rude biznayi. And he said, repeat that to me one more time, because me and Kane both heard that. And this is the part of the episode when I was like, oh. Again, I already saw the spoiler, so I know what's happening. But this was the point where I was like, oh, this is what they're doing with Monet. Got it. I don't have a problem with it. So, Kane is still thinking that Noma would make him partner. I was like, Kane, why do you have that notion in your mind that Noma would ever make you a partner? And Monet told him, like, she ain't the one, Kane. You can't trust her. And I was like, absolutely, you cannot trust her. So, as Monet was leaving, Noma pulled her to the side and she said, can we talk? And Monet said, girl, what? She said, can we talk? Talk. I was like, damn, Monet. Again, rude as hell, right? So Noma says that, she wants them to get along since she's going to be marrying Kane. And Monet said, what the fuck that got to do with me? I was like, yikes. So Noma said, well, we are family, and, I shouldn't have kicked you out of the business. And Monet said, girl, fuck you and your business, and I don't want back in. She said, but I do want my kids taken care of, right? And so she says, what does that mean? She said, I need money, and lots of it. And Noma was like, I prefer to put my money in investments, so I don't have anything around. But she gave her a key and told her to go to Staten Island, right? There's a lot of goodies there for her. And, she knows what to do with it, right? So Monet says, what do you want in return? And Noma says she wants a clean slate from here on out, right? So after that, we see as Kane, Drew, and Diana and some of their cousins, they're down at the bar, right? They having a bachelor party for Kane. Drew asked Diana, like, are you okay? Because I'm really worried about you. And she said this shit is heavy for her, right? Because when she's in class, all she can think about is what she did. That little boy is now an orphan and all this kind of stuff, right? But then when she's not in class, all she can think about is class. I was like, girl, say what now? Okay, Diana. So Drew told Diana about the potential fellowship that he could have, right? But he's still talking about this stuff with Creepy Don. And she was like, really? Drew is liking the power, but he's also feeling like he's being pushed out by Creepy Don, right? So Diana was worried about Monet, so she called Monet on the phone and it went straight to Monet's voicemail. So then she called Janet up. She's like, hey, Auntie, have you talked to Ma? She's like, yeah, she was supposed to come back by the house, but she hasn't come back yet. But, Kane's wifey sent her somewhere in Staten Island. And she's like, Staten Island? And so Drew overheard that, right? So then Effie came down to the bar and, Diana made a joke about Effie being his side chick, right? Kane's, that is, right? So she was like, you completely changed my drop. He's like, everything is still the same. But he says, Noma can't know you here. She's like, Kane, ain't nobody trying to fuck up your shit. So Effie told him that Vadim is going out to Staten Island, and Diana and Drew looked at each other like, Staten Island, let's get the hell out of here, right? So we see as Monet got to Staten Island and she found Tariq. So they pulled, they pop pounds on each other, right? And he told her that Creepy Don sent him, and she was like, and Noma sent me up here, right? So then some of the Russians come and they Glocks pointed at them too, right? So then we hear a pow, 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 and it's Drew and Diana, right? So Monet's like, what the fuck are y'all doing here? So they told Monet, like, Effie came down, talked to Kane about the Russians. I called Auntie Janet. She said that, Noma sent you here. And with Creepy Don, I found that he sent Tariq here, right? So they put two and two together that Noma and Creepy Don worked together to try to take them out. So what they ended up then doing was they took Monet's G-Wagon, put the Russians in it, set it on fire, blew up the car, right? So before that, Monet texted Noma and said, it's done. So then we see Noma. So Noma met up with Creepy Don and Nico, and she's asking, why doesn't Kane know that his mother is deceased? And so they said, well, the Russians, it appears that the Russians took the job a little too far. And he says, Monet's car is on fire. There were two bodies in there, and until forensics can tell us who it is, We don't really know if Monet or if Tariq are deceased, right? So Norma in her feelings, I was like, girl, take your hot in the puss ass. All right, you guys, so we back. Sorry, the phone was dying and I had to go charge it up. But back to this episode. So Norma's old hot in the puss behind. She ended up leaving, right? And after that, we see as she called up Kane, right? So actually, Kane actually called her because Kane is writing his vows. He was like, do we really have to go through this? And she was like, yes, to make it look real, right? So she's saying that Monet is up to her old tricks, right? Which translates to her absence at the wedding. And Kane was like, nah, my mom said she would come. He said he would call her and, she told him don't, right? So then we see Tariq. So Tariq, I'm Tariq St. Patrick, and they're messing with me. I was like, Tariq, bro, man, you ain't scared out of soul, right? But Davis is telling Tariq like, yo, I need you to calm down, right? So that way you can come up with a plan. So breathe. Don't tell me to breathe, Davis. I was like, Tariq, you might want to breathe. So after that, we see as Drew is worried about taking out Creepy Don because it's Monet, Drew, and Diana. They're at some little hotel room, right? And Drew is just worried about taking out Creepy Don. I was like, wow, Drew, you done went this route, huh? I was like, you know what, Drew? Somebody take Drew out, please. Please and thank you. Put Drew out of his and my misery at this point. Drew can go. So Monet said, we gotta get to him and Noma before they get to me, right? And she's like, we gotta take them out first, and I agreed, right? So Monet told Drew and Diana how much she loves them. I was like, oh wow. I was like, oh Monet, girl, the way that the writing's is on the wall, sister, girlfriend. You telling your kid, you first told Kane you were proud of him, that you, whatever you said to Kane. Now you telling Diana and Drew you love them? Oh, Monet. You come through in the last hour to be a good mother to your kids. And she told him if they they don't want to do this, she absolutely understands it's all love. I was like, where is the Monet that I know? Because this ain't my Monet. This ain't the mean ass Monet Tejada that, again, I've known for 4 years. This ain't the Monet that I've known for the last 4 years. So they met up with Tariq. So Tariq is saying he wants to take Noma out at the wedding, and Diana was like, they're gonna take guns at the wedding, right? And Monet says, no, we're not taking a shot with Kane anywhere near that bitch. And so Diana suggests, well, how about we do it at the wedding reception, right? And then with Creepy Don, Drew says, well, he goes to confessional at this time of day on this, I think it's Saturdays, right? He told him what time he goes to confessional. So they also like, well, you need to get Effie and Brayden involved. I don't want to get them involved. So they talk Tariq into getting Brayden and Effie involved, right? So Tariq is telling Brayden and Effie what's going on. Brayden is in, and Tariq's like, but Brayden, you have to be sober. I was like, Tariq, why are you trusting Brayden, especially after what happened in last week's episode? But okay, go for it. Effie, however, was reluctant, but Tariq was able to, talk Effie into doing it, right? Now, we see Davis. So Davis is trying to distract Noma, and he overheard one of the guys talking about Vadim, right? And so Davis was able to get the guy away from Noma. And this is where this is the part of the episode where I really got pissed off with Davis. Davis had a blicky on him, went around the car, did too much talking, him and the dude wrestling and tussling over the blicky. And Davis had to, suffocate the man. Well, not suffocate him, strangle him, right? I was like, wow, Davis, that was stupid. You guys don't see that I literally forgot about. I don't even know if I put it in my notes. So, remember earlier in the episode when I was telling you guys about Effie talking to Kane about the drop that had changed, right? So, why did we see Effie and Kane go have sex? Now, I don't know where they had sex at. Then I saw another scene. I was looking at two people in the bed, and all I saw was butt a man's butt in my face, and I was like, is that Kane banging Effie? Then I paused it and I zoomed in. Well, I didn't zoom in. I paused it and I looked at the bed because I was like, okay, because I was looking at the tattoo on the back. I was like, that ain't Kane. I was like, I don't think that's Kane. I was like, but who the hell are we watching have sex? Then something said, JB, look at the woman. It was at Hot in the Puss Noma. It's Noma and Davis having sex. And I was like, ew. This girl just don't give her. Like, I tweeted this just today. I know Noma's vagina hates to see a penis coming because, my God, today that heifer don't give her puss no breaks. Not now, break. Now, we move over to the wedding, you guys. So, what threw me with this raggedy heifer Noma, this bitch wore white. I was like, girl, you are the last thing that is pure. You're the last thing that's pure. The only thing pure about you is the drugs that you sell. Other than that, purity, bitch, you should be wearing black, red, orange, purple, anything but white. Girl, you are the last hoe that should be wearing white. The last hoe. So, Effie and Braden, we're at the church, right? They took out one of the security guards, so Effie was able to get to the cameras in the church, right? So Tariq is clear to go. Braden decides he wants to take a bump of coke. I was like, dude, Tariq literally asked you not to do that. And that's exactly what Effie said. Well, he doesn't know. I was like, oh my God. So then here's another part of the episode that pissed me off, right? So we get Creepy Don shows up to the confessional, right? Now, I don't know if he saw Tariq or not, because, you know, when it comes to the confessional, you know, that look, I've never been to one, but I know you can't always see the priestess on the side of you unless they open up the little thing, right? So I don't know if Creepy Don saw Tariq, but Tariq came out of the confessional, has the gun pointed towards Creepy Don, telling him to come out. And instead of him popping Creepy Don, Tariq wants to have a conversation with Creepy Don, who was able to wrestle the gun away from Tariq and then handcuff Tariq and threw Tariq in the back of a car. And then he called Noma to let Noma know, like, yo, Tariq and Monet, they're alive. I was like, Tariq, you big dumb fool, you. So Noma told her brother that her in-laws are plotting against her, and if he sees Monet, to shoot first and ask questions later, right? He asked her, what about Kane? She says, I don't think he's involved. So, Braden and Effie left out of the church. They told Monet what happened, and Monet jetted out of there, right? And Effie was like, Monet, you could be walking into a trap. I was like, I do believe you are walking into a trap, Monet, but okay. So Braden and Effie, they falling behind Creepy Don. So they traveling Creepy Don, and then he got to like a warehouse area, and Braden came up on the side of Creepy Don and just rammed his car, and he hit something. I forgot what he hit, but he hit something, right? So Noma, back at the wedding. Now, at this point in the episode, I was like, girl, is Noma about to take Kane out? Because she was telling Kane, like, you have a choice to make, right? It's either Monet or me. And so she's up behind him, and then the people come surrounding Kane. I was like, girl, what is about to happen here? But it's like it's the traditional African thing with the wedding. You know, they throw the money around, right? I was like, whew, because my heart was pounding. This part, like I said earlier in the review, like, when it comes to y'all spoiling things, y'all spoil things that y'all spoil the things that people would watch for. If y'all had to show this part, I probably wouldn't have been so pissed. But neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there, right? So after that, we move back over. Actually, no, before that, we see as Noma wraps up Drew and Diana and the cousins, right? And she told Kane that they need to talk. So then we see as Braden and Effie got Creepy Don tied up to a chair and Tariq is outside of the car. So Braden is trying to wake Tariq up. So Creepy Don is telling Tariq, like, you know, if anything happens to me, the NYPD will burn this city down until they find me. You know what? Like I said with Tariq, because Creepy Don then at the church, he was telling Tariq how he has all the stuff about the stash house, which that is true. He does have it, but see, the thing with that is there will be a lot of open-ended questions, right? Because if you have all this stuff, why didn't you arrest them when you saw the footage? Like Creepy Don would have to show his hands at that point if he turns it over because you've been sitting on that because Zion has been dead for a while now, right? You saw it. You never arrested Tariq nor Braden. So there would be more questions than answers for Creepy Don. Like, you have the footage, but you didn't arrest them. They committed a crime. You know, but okay, whatever. It's power, so we're gonna let it just roll off of our backs, right? Yeah. So, Noma's people have taken Drew and Diana to a car, and you hear pew, pew, pew. I was like, girl, where them bullets come from? It was Monet. I was like, okay, Monet. And then that outfit that Monet had on, I was like, girl, you looking good. You're looking good. So then Monet just started going through the house, just pew, 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 pew. She even blasted a guy with a semi-automatic. I was like, now this is not real life, because she took that man out with that semi-automatic. That man would have took her out, but she going through because she has a silencer on, right? So then she comes up to this one guy, and she has him lead him down there to where Noma is. So Noma has Kane tied to a chair, right? And Noma is once again telling Kane, like, it's either me or your mother, right? And so yeah. Before that, Monet was actually trying to protect Drew and Diana. She did tell them that they could leave, and they were like, "Nah, Ma, we gonna stay here with you, right?" And because she told them about Creepy Don, and Noma wanted to take them out. So, like I said, Noma was telling Kane, like, you can't be your own man until your mama's gone. And he was like, what do you mean by that? I was like, Kane, you know what she mean? Until your mama is swimming with the fishes 6 feet under the ground. That's what she means, right? So Kane was like, you know, without me, those government contracts, you have nothing. And she told Kane, like, actually, like, this is again, she's telling him, like, it's either Monet or me. So Kane told her, fuck you, I'm not going against Monet. I was like, Kane, that was stupid. That was dumb. Play the bitch. Like, play her, make her think that you have her back, and then flip the script on her. And this just proves why Kane would not be a good leader, because you play her like she had at this current moment. You're at her mercy, not the other way around, Kane. You don't have the upper hand. You are tied to a chair. You cannot move. What you should have said is, absolutely, no, I'll switch out. You know, me and you, we just got married. So, of course, it's me and you, baby. But no, he said, fuck you. He will never turn to his mama. So then, Noma says, fuck you. See you next Tuesday. And she was about to take him out. And that's when Monet came in with the human shield. And this was the part of the episode that pissed me off. It didn't piss me off because of the scene. It pissed me off because I had already saw it on social media where it was a shootout, and, you know, Noma told Monet that Kane chose her, and she was getting ready to take Kane out. So Monet came around with the guns and pow, pow, pew, 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 pew. But then Noma and her brother, boom, 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 they just popping Monet. I was like, oh, wow. and Monet went down. I was like, damn, girl. I've been wanting you gone for a while. But this ain't satisfying to me. Like, I wasn't satisfied. The same way I felt about Sax when he got taken out is the same way I felt about Monet. Because so here's the thing. You guys know I've said I wanted Monet gone for quite some time, right? But I wanted Drew gone before Monet. I wanted Drew and Diana to go before Monet. And like I wanted those, and Drew was always top of the list. Like Drew has been top of my list for a very long time. It just wasn't as satisfying. It wasn't satisfying. And then the fact that she was protecting Kane. Yikes. She's saying, my babies. And then she just expired. I was like, rest in peace, Monet. Rest in peace to your girlfriend. And that was the episode. Now, what I will say is Woody did an amazing job with that scene because I really believe that was his mama, and then his mama had just passed away in front of him, and he's still tied up to this damn chair. Drew and Diana, y'all are useless. Y'all are useless. Drew and Diana are so useless, you guys. Baby, when I tell you Monet done took everybody out without ever changing, you know, she never put another magazine in. But Drew and Diana came in at the last minute. I was like, where were you two fools at? Like, Monet left y'all upstairs 20 minutes ago. And now y'all mama is right there in a puddle of blood, dead. Just gone. Ain't coming back. But that was the episode, you guys. So next week is the end of Power Book 2 Ghost. I hope they take that raggedy whole Noma out. I really do. I didn't like Noma last season. She got on my nerves last season. And then I really ain't soft for the heifer after she took out Obi. I ain't soft for that raggedy, treacherous heifer after she took out Obi. Cause that was my dude right there. Obi was my boy. F you Noma and F you Creepy Don. That's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments. And subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. Until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.